Good morning friends. As you all are aware, today was a very important day since the budget announced by our Honorable Finance Minister. Want to know what was in store for the NGOs in this budget? So today in my video, I am going to highlight the key points from the budget which have an impact or are relevant for NGOs. So the first important amendment has been made for those universities or educational institutions and hospitals who can claim blanket exemption under section 1023C, 3AD and 3AE respectively, provided their annual receipts do not exceed the prescribed limit for these two sub-clauses under the Act. Presently, as per Rule 2BC of the income tax rules, such limit is rupees 1 crore. In this budget, the limit for exemption has been increased to rupees 5 crores. In the budget, it has been again clarified that section 12AB, which is the section for income tax exemption for charitable organizations, shall come into force with effect from 1st April 2021. However, still no clarity was provided on the new forms and when they shall be made available, but hopefully it shall be in place before the timelines mentioned. The third major amendment has been made related to corpus donations received by such charitable trusts, institutions and funds by attaching certain conditions in order to claim exemption. It has been proposed that voluntary contributions made with a specific direction which shall form part of the corpus shall have to be kept invested or deposited in any one or more of the forms specified in section 11 subsection 5 of the Act, maintained specifically for such corpus. I repeat, maintained specifically for such corpus. Moreover, any application out of the corpus shall not be considered as an application for charitable or religious purposes. However, when such applied amount shall be invested or deposited back as corpus, such amount shall be allowed as an application in that year in which it was so invested or deposited back. With the fourth amendment, the organization which was spending the loan or the borrowings amount to cover the mandatory 85% application, I repeat, with the fourth amendment, the organizations which were spending the loan or the borrowings amount to cover mandatory 85% application shall now not be able to do so. It has been proposed that any amount spent from such borrowings shall not be considered as an application. In fact, only in the year of repayment of such borrowings, the application shall be allowed to the extent of repayment done. The fifth amendment has come as a clarification wherein it has been clarified that the set-off or deduction or allowance of any excess application of any of the year preceding the previous year shall not be allowed to the charitable organizations. Now comes the sixth amendment. As you are aware that already faceless proceedings are in place for the scrutiny assessment and appeal level. In this budget, provision for such faceless proceedings before the Income Tax Appellate Tribunal have also been announced, thus bringing in greater efficiency, transparency and accountability to the assessment process. The seventh point, now the time limit for filing revised returns or belated returns has been further reduced and the same has to be done 3 months before the end of the assessment year or completion of the assessment, whichever is earlier. In another major amendment, the provisions for opening reassessment proceedings under section 148 of the Income Tax Act have been rationalized in the budget by reducing the possibility of reopening the books of accounts for previous 6 years to 3 years, except in cases of serious tax evasions where the amount of concealment involved is more than rupees 50 lakhs each year. The new labor code was also touched upon by the Honorable FM, wherein single registration and single return to be filed electronically for all labor laws was proposed by the Honorable Finance Minister in order to ease and simplify the compliances for the employers. So the last point in the budget 2020-21 for relevant for the NGOs, the provisions related to the employee contribution towards various welfare funds was also rationalized, wherein section 36(1) small 5a and section 43b was amended, and now the delay in deposit of employee contribution by the employer shall not be allowed by the income tax department. This implies even for charitable organizations, such payments might be added to the total income of the charitable organization. So in my next video, we will be coming up with a detailed analysis of each budget point we discussed today. Thank you, and keep subscribed to our YouTube channel for latest updates.